on that side. And to your question, assume that the interest rate goes down. Substantial part of pension funds are invested in government securities. For example, like 47% is in central government securities, 22% is in state government securities. Of course, the interest rate goes down, the pension returns also become very high. So debt-oriented pension returns.
Okay. But any measures that the government or PFRDA?
No. That I explained that part. Okay. Anything here?
Of the 8 crore subscribers, how much are retail individual subscribers? How much are corporate subscribers?
See, 8 crore subscribers which are there. So obviously, out of that, if you see, 6.4 crore are Atal Pension Yojana. So which are obviously the retail, pension subscriber, and more from semi-urban and rural areas which are there. So 1.6, which is there, the NPS. Out of that, you see about 95 lakh are from government, central and state government put together. Because post 2004, any government employee, they would have to necessarily join NPS. And that balance, 62 lakh, that what we see, that is from the private sector. And on the corporate side, so it is about 22 lakh subscribers have come from the private sector. So that is a big challenge. You see that we have about 18,000 corporates who are joined NPS, but the take-up rate by employee is less. With 18,000 corporates, big corporates have joined, but less employees have come to NPS. Partly there are so many things, but partly because of lack of awareness, we are trying to expand awareness, and through our pension intermediaries, they can go, they can talk to their HR, talk to the corporates, and see more and more employees get onboarded into the pension system. Yeah, you can go ahead. Yeah.
I was asking, is the AUM, which is 14 lakh crores, is it growing as per your expectations, and where can we see it by the end of the current year or next financial year?
See, and the AUM again has the two factors, because the contribution that what is coming in and how the market is performing. Though there is volatility to the market, but market in general direction is upwards. And given that situation, our expectation is that by the end of the year it should be 15 lakh crore. The AUM should be there. And in terms of return that I mentioned to you already, so these are quite competitive return. If you see that 10-year GSEC benchmark, if you see that 6.7 range, 6.7 to 6.8, and the kind of return that I just mentioned are quite competitive. Yeah. Go on with that. Yeah.
Finance Minister has said that ideally banks should not fund long-term projects, and it should be insurance companies and pension funds who should fund long-term infra projects through capital market. What is your view on that? And also, sir, what is your investment in the compound, in the corporate bonds? And are you requesting the government for longer tenure bonds beyond 50 years?
Obviously these are long-term funds, and a significant part of that, is in debt. Equity is about 19 to 20% of the entire corpus. So 80% is in debt. Obviously, large part is in the government debt, as I was mentioning, central and state government. Obviously, government makes investment, infrastructure investment and other things. And the corporate investment is also quite substantial, about 27% of our corpus. And bulk of it goes to infrastructure. So to that extent, we are contributing to long-term investment and economic growth.
And sir, have you put in any request for longer tenure bonds beyond 50 years?
Not at this stage, because we still have long-term bonds of 30 years and all that. So, but beyond that, we have not asked, because if there is a demand from the industry, obviously we'll look at it. So,
Sir, is there any?
No, just go. No, let's go. Come in. Yeah, your question.
So, sir, as you said that 80% workforce belong to informal sector, and their data, we still don't have a concrete data on how much people are there in informal because we don't have a proper data regarding that, and your target is, your target customers or focus is on those informal sector.
Yeah, data, as I said, is there. So you know that this is there. So there are different ways to reach them. One is through the expanding the intermediary base. That is one thing. For example, to give an example, that we have requested the sponsor banks of RRBs, that RRBs also should provide NPS. So obviously, RRBs are in semi-urban and rural areas, and they are doing well in case of Atal Pension Yojana, so NPS can really reach. So we are expanding the intermediary base. And to target younger cohort of population, see, we are collaborating with the digital companies. So more digital units that we are giving them POP license, point of presence, so they can reach to the younger cohort and those who are digitally savvy. So that is one. Other thing would be awareness, that we do the outreach camp, and as I was mentioning, that we have also set up an association, so they will do their bit, because it's for the long haul. The need is quite huge to enhance the understanding of this pension scheme. So as a regulator alone or government alone cannot do that job. So collectively, that we are trying to reach out to various segments of the population.
So this comparison was made with AMP a couple of times, but mutual funds, fund managers are in consolidated entity. Well, like your presentation said, this is completely disaggregated. You have Protean, then you have fund managers, then distributors, and they are able to generate a much larger kitty because they have slightly more distribution fees, and also being a combined entity, they can pool everything together. So in the case of the association of this pension, where will the funding come from for the secretariat and the whole, the promotions, which is expensive? Like, would you be open to looking slightly higher distribution charges, or will there be some fund made available to them?
No, that is a question you should be asking to the association, because I cannot. You see, there are various associations. This is not the first association, because you have you name the financial segment, there are associations. So they function in a particular way. The essential point should be arm's length. Then it should have its own autonomy, its arm's length. So we are just doing little enabling, hand-holding and things like that.
But would you be open to, because
No, those are question of detail. It is for the association, because they have a governing body, they have a council, so they will decide how to go about it and what to do. So I cannot say.
And the question was, Mr. Amitabh Chaudhary made this point about choice between EPFO and NPS. And I think you also made a point that one of the things that NPS is not mandated for public. So do you see any scope for kind of a mandate or a choice between EPFO and NPS?
See, EPFO, only mandate EPFO has is that employees, those are drawing salary up to 15,000, necessarily have to go through EPFO. I don't know, many of you would be in the Provident Fund and all that. But normally everybody goes because it's a legacy system, it is there. So there's no mandate. Beyond that, people have choice. So they can go to NPS or EPFO. No, I'm just saying. So they can certainly go on that side. But partly lack of awareness, partly the system in the way it is functioning, that people are not switching onto that side. And rather than mandating it, government also nudging it in different way. Because if you see, launching this association, government was also very much a part of the whole process. It is not the regulator, government was also part of this process, because Secretary DFS also was part of this process. And so that is how it will work. But if you see government nudge which has come, if you look at the last budget, NPS has become the most tax efficient post-retirement saving product compared to anything else, because 14% of salary, if your employer is putting, it is deductible as business expenditure for the company. So company is neutral, and that 14% is also deductible for employee. That if you are putting on NPS, you can set aside 14% your employer contribution, which is coming under 80CC D2. So which scheme gives that kind of a tax benefit? It's not there. So people should understand and realize, and the awareness should come for people to move into NPS in that sense.
Systematic withdrawal is now effective.
Yes. Systematic withdrawal again gives an opportunity that people, as I mentioned, that NPS system is giving good return. People want to stay within that system, and so there is good traction for that. A lot of people are going into that.
Sir, आपने अभी हमने देखा आपने एम्फी का एग्जांपल दिया, इंश्योरेंस की एसोसिएशन का एग्जांपल दिया. जब ये एसोसिएशन भी बन रही थी, तो अपार्ट फ्रॉम अवेयरनेस, व्हाट अदर एजेंडास वर देयर फॉर एनपीएस की बेस ब्रॉडन हो सके? एंड सिंस यू आर आल्सो टॉकिंग अबाउट कि एनपीएस और ईपीएफओ और बाकी भी और प्लेयर्स हैं मार्केट में, ईपीएफओ एटीएम कैश विड्रॉल भी दे रहा है अब जल्द ही. तो व्हाई एनपीएस पीपल शुड स्विच फॉर, if you could, like, why NPS is better? Like, if I have to ask in simple way.
आप देखिए रिटर्न इसमें कितना मिल रहा है. गॉट माय पॉइंट. एंड दिस इज कॉस्ट इज वेरी लो. ये जो पेंशन स्कीम है वो दुनिया भर में सबसे लोएस्ट कॉस्ट पेंशन स्कीम हमारा ही है, एनपीएस का ही है. तो कॉस्ट लो होने का मतलब क्या है? आप सर्विस आपको मिल रहा है, आप कॉस्ट लो हो रहा है, उसके मतलब है कि जो सब्सक्राइबर को बेनिफिट जा रहा है, जो पैसा उसमें रह रहा है वो सब्सक्राइबर के पास जा रहा है. एंड ये फुल्ली डिजिटल है. एनीबडी डिजिटली savvy, नहीं तो किसके थोड़ा हेल्प में आप 10 मिनट में सब कर सकते हैं, विड्रॉल कर सकते हैं. आपका सब पर्सनल डिटेल्स भी है. आप जब एग्जिट करते हैं, ये सिमलेस एग्जिट है. आप जब पेंशन को छोड़ के जब एन्युटी लेंगे, ऑटोमेटिकली गो टू द इंश्योरेंस कंपनी, रेट्स आर ट्रांसपेरेंटली डिस्प्लेड, यू कैन मेक ए चॉइस. एंड ये तो आपका सेल फोन में रहता है, ऐप भी है, आप आपका देख सकते हैं डेली बेसिस पे. एंड ट्रांसपेरेंट स्कीम, आप डेली जब पैसा डालते हैं इसमें, कि सुबह 11 बजे तक इसमें पैसा आप डालें तो सेम डे आपको एनएवी मिल जाती है. T+0 का सेटलमेंट होता है, आपका रिस्क इसमें नहीं रहता है. सब बहुत ही उसका लाभ है. एंड वही ऐप के जरिए आप सब तरह का चेंज इसमें कर सकते हैं. सो इट्स अ फ्लेक्सिबल स्कीम. सो इसका जो पेंशन का जो टीयर है, द टीयर 1 है, और दूसरा उसका टीयर है टीयर 2. सो उसमें आप पैसा डाल सकते हैं. टीयर 2 में उसमें कब भी पैसा डाल सकते हैं, एटीएम की तरह आज डाले कल भी ले सकते हैं. मार्केट का जो रिटर्न है उसका लाभ ले सकते हैं, फिर उसके बाद पैसा आप उसको विड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. और सबसे बड़ी बात जो है कि ये आपकी रिटायरमेंट सेविंग्स को कंटिन्यूटी प्रोवाइड करती है. आज आप जॉब में हैं, आपके पास प्रोविडेंट फंड है, आप लेते हैं. कल आप जॉब से थोड़े दिन के लिए बाहर हो जाते हैं तो आपका डिसकंटिन्यूटी होगा जब तक कि आपको नया जॉब नहीं मिलेगा. अगर एनपीएस में ये कॉर्पोरेट एनपीएस आप है, कल आप अपने है पर्सनल एनपीएस बना सकते हैं. परसों आप उसको फिर दूसरे कंपनी में ज्वाइन करेंगे, ये फिर कॉर्पोरेट एनपीएस बन जाती है. आप रिटायर कर गए 60 साल में, फिर भी आप सोचिए कि हमारे पास पैसा, हमको इमीडिएटली पेंशन की जरूरत नहीं है, आप इसको कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं. 70 साल तक कंटिन्यूटी देता है. बीच में आज का यंगस्टर है फॉरेन चले जाते हैं, थोड़े दिन काम करने के लिए उधर जाते हैं. सो ये एनपीएस भी अवेलेबल एनआरआई के लिए है. आपका स्टेटस चेंज हो जाता है, आप एनआरआई हो गए तो फिर एनपीएस कंटिन्यू कर सकते हैं. देखिए बाहर के पेंशन फंड इतना है कि हमारे देश में पूंजी निवेश करते हैं. तो आप बाहर रहेंगे, आपको उधर से सोशल सिक्योरिटी नहीं मिलता, आप तो देश का अपना एनपीएस है उसको चला सकते हैं. सो देयर आर होल लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट. तो आपका जो बेनिफिट मिलेगा कि सब चीज का जो कंटिन्यूटी होना चाहिए. थोड़ा भी रकम आप डाल दिए उस पर, वो 20-30 साल के तक भूल जाइए तो बड़ा रकम होकर बाहर उभर के आता है. तो इस हिसाब से दिस इज अ स्कीम व्हिच प्रोवाइड्स कंटिन्यूटी. सो देयर आर लॉट ऑफ बेनिफिट्स इन दैट सिस्टम.
While making the association, what all agendas were there apart from just the awareness?
You ask, नहीं, they have also what they should do, they should not do. It is there already कि क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं कर, जैसे कि ये एक प्रोफेशनल बॉडी है तो अपना कुछ मुद्दा रखेंगे, हमारे साथ भी वो बातचीत करेंगे क्या करना चाहिए क्या नहीं करना चाहिए, पेंशन सेक्टर को आगे कैसे बढ़ाना चाहिए, ये रेगुलेशन के मामले में क्या कर सकते हैं, इन्वेस्टमेंट के मामले में क्या कर सकते हैं, तो ये सब चीज हो सकता है.
We were talking about getting more youngsters into pension schemes. So I think apart from just existence of an association for AMP or digital access, I think returns is the major thing for young people, especially when there's a high inflation. So how do you plan to make that part more attractive, although it is a regulated price?
No, it's a good question. See, the return that I cited here.
Because even the finance ministry has already spoken about this in their monthly report, saying that there is too much financialization and a lot of household savings are going into retail investment and mutual funds. So there is a need from the pension authorities to...
No, I agree. So I'm not commenting on that part. As you rightly said, that there's a return. See, youngster, because it is digital, youngster are digitally savvy. They can do it on their fingertips. It is there. Got my point? And depending on your risk tolerance, that one can have a high equity component. That flexibility is there because you can go up to 75% equity if you're changing a return. And so it can be done. And all the returns that I said, that it's a conservative scheme is for the central government employees, which is giving 9.6% since inception, since 2004. And obviously it is beating inflation. So it is giving a positive real rate of return. So returns are quite good. So all the positives are there in that system. And fund management fee is quite low. You know what is the average fund management fee is 0.05%. So that means the all balance goes to the subscriber. And I would not comment about other schemes and all that, but you see what is the fund management charges on that side. Of course, intermediaries would not be happy on that. They said, no, we should charge more. But as things stand now, it is subscriber who is benefiting on that process. And youngsters should really come in because it is power of compounding that is there. And youngster, unlike earlier times, they are not going to stick on to a particular job for ever. People want to retire at a younger age and things like that. So unless you build up a corpus, how would you manage your post-retirement life?
So incrementally, which is the biggest channel for distribution of in terms of accounts and
that is ENPS is doing well, but it is through intermediaries.
But which are the banks?
Yes, banks. It is the banks. Yeah, it's the banks.
Zerodha has started distributing.
They have started, but I don't know how much of progress there. What is the uptake on that side? So, but they have started.
Some of them have surrendered their license also. Some of the intermediaries surrendered their license.
Yeah, not many. So,
because of the fund management rule, of course. They were not able to break even.
No, nothing like that happened. So that is it. So we have all pension fund managers are here. So there are 11, irrespective of the size. So this is a business people want to do. So all the top names are there. Somebody is asking what is the positive. All the big names are there in terms of management. And then you have a choice. Pension fund, what one can pick. So many choices you don't get anywhere else. You don't like a particular pension fund manager, you can change it. So that is possible. Okay, I think.
Just one last question.
Okay.
Any update on the minimum assured pensions plan? Or is it on after now that UPS is out? So is it on the back burner or is it still under consideration?
Not now. I think now the major task for us is to implement EPS. So EPS is a variant of NPS. So it will be implemented in the NPS ecosystem only. So we have to do that work because that has to start. Of course, the government notification hasn't come yet, but we have to do the background work so that it starts from 1st April 25.
Then you'll focus back on the
That is continuing, but so immediate priority is that to, so this year, this financial year is to go in for implementation of that. Okay, thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. My card I'm not carrying immediately. No, it's not number.
We will coordinate.
Coordinate with him.
Sir, one more video. Video के लिए.
Can you just come?
एक मतलब वीडियो के लिए. सर वो वीडियो की. सर
Can you just go a little bit there, please, just please. Sir.